Welcome to ChillTownHoops. I'm your host, Jermaine. The youngsters call me OG. My friends call me J-Dub. What's happening? What's going on in here tonight? All right. Let's see what it is, man. Looks like we got some people in here tonight. I'm in TikTok. I'm still in TikTok jail. Then I got out, and then I'm back in for, I don't know what the hell I'm back in for, but I'm back in, and there was a comment that I had posted. So I've been in TikTok jail for like the last 2 days, and I haven't been able to post anything. So we're gonna see what it is. So we'll find out. What's going on tonight, guys? Y'all running good? Apparently I was it was a comment from a video I saw like 2 weeks ago. And this lady was joking with her son, and she basically was cussing her son and her husband out. And her husband was like, yo, if you go into the store to get him some milk, because she was like, I ain't going to get you no damn milk. And the husband was like, if you're going to get him some milk, you'll bring me back some cereal. She was like, both of y'all can kiss my ass. And then I commented, I said, she going to kill both of y'all if y'all don't knock it off. Well, apparently TikTok didn't like that. I think somebody's reporting my videos, though, to be honest with you. What's up, Breezy? How you running, brother? And I think it's incredible that somebody would do something like that, because I'm thinking to myself, yo, I talk basketball, right? I don't talk. I might talk an occasional conspiracy theory. I'll talk current events and stuff like that from time to time. But for the most part, I talk basketball. I talk sports. I talk basketball. I talk football. I talk stuff like that, and it's pretty incredible. Oh. Hey, Jillian. Who would I add on to my next 25 of the top 50? So the top 75, who would I add on to that? That's a good question. I think Giannis is going to be on that list. I think KD is going to be on that list. Carmelo Anthony is going to be on that list. Running good, Cam. Kobe's going to be on that list. Dwayne Wade's going to be on that list. I think Ray Allen is going to be on that list. Embiid is not more skilled than Hakeem Olajuwon. No, I don't think so. Good, Tristan. Running good, brother. No, I don't think Bob McAdoo. If he wasn't already on the list, I mean, McAdoo retired in, I think, 85. If he wasn't already on that list, then well, I don't need, to be honest with you, I don't need the list of information. I already know the competition that Jordan played against and the competition that LeBron played against. Those teams that James played against in the finals, I wouldn't say that they was ragtag crews, but those teams that Jordan played against, I mean, those are groups that were together for a long time. I mean, that Golden State Warriors team that James went up against in 15, their group was together for a long time. That group that Jordan played against in 92, that Blazers group, they were together for a long time. So when you talk about when you talk about groups that play together as opposed to competition individually. I mean, I don't know if that's a fair comparison, because I definitely feel like, a group that's together for a long time outweighs a ragtag, not a ragtag crew, but a bunch of all-stars. I definitely would go with the group that was together for a long time. So who was this who asked me? Hang on for a second, Mr. Rodriguez. I want to make sure that I got this correct. Did I see this right? Isaiah, listen. Isaiah, listen to me. Prime Derrick Rose cannot hold a candle to LeBron. Stop asking me about prime Derrick Rose. Enough already with prime Derrick Rose. LeBron shut him down in the Eastern Conference Championship. The year he won the league MVP, LeBron shut the door on him. Stop asking me about prime Derrick Rose and LeBron James. That's enough of that. No, I haven't listened to Kanye's new album, but I heard it's dope. I have not. So I'm interested to know where Ben Simmons is going to end up. That's what I'd like to know, because he mapped out a bunch of different teams, and I'm getting different reports. On the one end, I'm getting him saying that he's only interested in the 4 California teams, and then I'm hearing that he's down to go anywhere. He just wants out of Philadelphia, and then I'm hearing that Joel Embiid has made it clear that he wants Ben Simmons here. So, and he loves playing with Ben Simmons. So I'm trying to make sense of what exactly the story is. And we talking about a dude who the Philadelphia 76ers are not willing to just hand him over. They want 4 1s and an all-star. I mean, I don't know how true that is. I have no idea how true that is. So you want to get a 3-team trade involved in this. You want to send Ben to Denver. You want to send MPJ to Sacramento, and you want to send Fox and Tobias to Philadelphia. I don't mind that trade. I don't mind that trade at all, because now that means that Mitchell, he can move into that 1 spot. And now you get the small forward that you've always wanted, that Bagley should have been. Yeah, that might work. I don't drink soda. I do not drink soda. No, I don't think he's the next Tracy McGrady. Actually, Porter Jr. reminds me more of Reggie Miller than Tracy McGrady. He ain't the athlete Tracy McGrady is. They were stacking the teams to go up against James. No question about that. I will not fight that, Mr. Rodriguez. The teams, the Boston Celtics, the Golden State Warriors, these teams were stacked. Even though Golden State built it in the draft, and I won't fight that. Golden State built it in the draft, but that unit was stacked, and they did a great job of drafting, a great job, and in free agency. So I definitely know that. who was the most entertaining to watch? I dug watching Dominique and Jordan. What's up, Freddie? Yes, James Harden is better than Bernard King at shooting. Yes, he is. See, that's what I'm talking about, man. When I talk about being realistic, that's what I'm talking about when I talk about being realistic. The 76ers ain't serious. They want Halliburton and Fox, and they want like 3 1s for Ben Simmons. That's not realistic, man. That's not realistic. You guys aren't serious. You're not. You are not serious, man. Chamberlain, that's the one player I wish I could have seen play in person. Mm-hmm. Him and Lenny. Well, if I only could pick one, it was Chamberlain. Between the competition that Jordan played against and the competition that James played against, in terms of the defensive competition that Jordan played against and the defensive competition that James played against, I know it's not close. He does. He reminds me more of Tracy McGrady. Jason Tatum does. That's why I think, and I put up a post a couple of days ago before I was put in TikTok jail. That's why I think Jason Tatum at some point is going to be the best player in the NBA. And I got as long as Luka is hanging around. Well, I'll tell y'all what. I by show of hands, how many people in here? If I told you 3 years ago, Giannis at some point is going to be the best player in the NBA with KD, James still running around, how many of y'all would have been like, okay, yeah, I'm getting with that logic? None of you guys. Nobody would have bought that. Well, I don't know if that's true, Mike, because Dan Marley was an all-league defender when he went against him. Let's see. Stockton was an all-league defender, but he was on the other side of his prime. Nate McMillan was an elite defender. No, he didn't, Laffy. He did not. Giannis's 2018, 2019 season was basically LeBron James' 08-09 season. It was the same thing. Only except Giannis won Defensive Player of the Year and James came in second that year. It was the same thing. Dan Marley was not when you talk about elite, I know Dan Marley was an all-league defender, but I don't know if Dan Marley was a top 10 defender, but he was definitely. But what I also want you to know too, Mr. Rodriguez, is you can't downplay how good Jordan actually was. You talk about these guys that he had to face who were subpar defenders. Please take off the table. Please do not leave out how good Jordan really was. As good as subpar these defenders were, Jordan was incredible as an offensive player. So I think Giannis is the best. I think Giannis is at the top of the list. Let me ask you this question. Who do you think is better, Giannis or a healthy KD? What does KD do on the other side of the basketball? I know you guys, and the thing that I want to make sure that we're clear on, this is going to happen in 15 years. This is going to happen in 20 years. When somebody comes along that's awesome on the offensive side of the basketball, and they're going to be like, yo, this dude is better than KD, and you're going to want to strangle him. Giannis is 26 13-6 over the last 4 years. He's going to be the best player on the planet. Kevin Durant is an elite offensive player. He's not an elite all-around player. Giannis is an elite all-around player. And KD is not way better than Giannis. No, he is not. No, he isn't, Michael. No, he is not. If you say that, that tells me that you're not watching Giannis. Not only are you not watching Giannis, what you haven't done is you haven't watched Giannis's development from when he came into the game until who he is today. For you to say that. No, he is not way better. Let me ask you this question. Where is he way better than Giannis? What is he way better than Giannis in? And I'm gonna get with you in a second, Mr. Rodriguez. What is he way better than Giannis in? Way better. I'm interested to hear this. Okay, KD took them to 7 games. That's a fact. And you, Michael, are you aware that this season alone, the 2020-21 season, Giannis averaged 40 a game against Brooklyn. That's before the playoffs started. That's not my opinion. I'm not throwing numbers at you. This is a fact. Giannis averaged 40 a game against the Brooklyn Nets this season. I just want to make sure that we're clear on that. So when you say stuff like way better, I need to hear some logic on way better. I just told you, try harder, try harder. I just told you. Easy to average 40 when you injure Kyrie Irving and Harden is on one leg. So are you saying that Kyrie Irving and James Harden would have had something to do with him not averaging 40? None of them dudes are doing anything with him. James Harden's doing nothing with Giannis. Nothing. Kyrie Irving is doing nothing with Giannis. Zero. And for you to even say that it's easy to average, think about that for a second, and I'm gonna let you go over whatever it is that you just said. You just said it's easy to average 40, not easy to average 10 or 15. It's easy to average 40. You know how difficult it is to get 40 anywhere? Anywhere. In a high school game, in a college game. To get 40? That's incredible. My biggest sleeper team for this upcoming season? Who am I looking at that? I think the Warriors are going to be a lot better than what they were last season. Getting Clay back. Wiseman will be back, and I think he's going to be better. I think they're going to be a lot better than what people gave them credit for. I mean, from what they did the season before. I think Memphis is going to be right where they were. What's up, Henry? OG, is there any 2 players from any era you wish you could have played against, or you wish could have played against each other besides LBJ and Jordan? Yeah, I would have liked to have seen Dominique go up against Elgin Baylor. I would have loved to have seen that. I would have loved to have seen Jordan and Jerry West. I would have loved to have seen that. I would have loved to have seen Chamberlain and Shaq get at it. That would have been awesome. No, I don't see Damian going to New York. Oh. I don't think he's going anywhere neither, Drew. Oh. So let me make sure that I'm reading this correctly. Where we got 0. I think we got 0. So Gary Payton is the only elite defender. So the elite defenders that James had to go up against. Now, when you say elite defenders, are you saying guys in the top 10? Because let's see, when James played, he had to go up against Dwight Howard. He was an elite defender. He had to go up against Tim Duncan twice. He's an elite defender. Let's see. I'm just going off the top of my head of the guys that he had to go up against. Let's see. He had to go up against a Detroit Pistons unit. That was an elite defensive team. He had to go up against the Celtics with Kevin Garnett, who was Defensive Player of the Year. He was an elite defender. Let's see. Giannis wasn't Giannis yet. That Toronto team didn't have any elite defenders because Gasol was already finished. Gasol wasn't on that Toronto team. Was Iggy an elite defender? What about Tony Allen, Anthony? Draymond was an elite defender. Absolutely. He was. Warriors, Lakers, Clips, top seed. Clippers are not a top 3 seed in the East without Kawhi Leonard. No way. I am not buying that. Yeah, Bruce Bowen was on that team. Bruce Bowen, Tim Duncan, and then Kevin Garnett. Yeah. 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 No, I don't misunderstand. I'm getting it. I'm understanding I'm understanding the magnitude. I mean, Bruce Bowen is an 8-time All League defender, and James got to deal with him at 22 years old. Kawhi Leonard wasn't Leonard yet, but he still was an elite defender. So we just talking about the finals. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So Bruce Bowen, he had to deal with him at 22 years old. And this is an 8-time All League defender, and Tim Duncan. And then he has to deal with Tyson Chandler, who was the defensive. Was he an elite defender when he saw him, though? In 2011? Was Tyson? I know he won the Defensive Player of the Year the next year. Yeah, he probably was. In 15, Klay Thompson is not an elite defender. No, he is not. Klay Thompson is a solid defender. There's a difference between elite and solid. I know Tyson Chandler won the Defensive Player of the Year the next year. I'm just wondering if he was elite at that point. Maybe he was. In 15. I mean, in 11. Then in 12, they had to see Oklahoma City. Serge Ibaka was an elite defender. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. Absolutely. Klay Thompson is not an elite. Oh, KT, answer me this. What makes Klay Thompson an elite defender? Because I don't think you understand exactly what elite is. Like Drew Holiday is an elite defender. Kawhi Leonard is an elite defender. Paul George was an elite defender. Patrick Beverley, Draymond Green. These are elite defenders. Rondo. What makes Klay Thompson an elite defender? He can't shut it. So it's interesting you say that, KTK. Who can you tell me is his signature job on? Because I saw Kyrie Irving give him 40 in the finals. I did see that. I saw him put 40 on him in the finals. So who is his signature job on? That's not to say that Clay ain't a good defender. I think he's a solid defender. Elite, I think you're going a little bit too far with that. Avery Bradley is absolutely Avery Bradley was an elite defender. In 2011, he was third. Oh, in 2015. And he had just won it in 2011, in 2012, I'm sorry, when he was with the Knicks. Jonas, we're not talking about elite defenders in the game. Are we talking about elite defenders in the game today? So you're talking strictly about defensive player of the year contenders. If you're in the top 10 in the league, or in the top, I don't know, let's say top 5 in the league. That was a lot of, I mean, when you're talking about at that level, you're gonna have to run into elite defenders. I'm surprised that Jordan didn't run into more elite defenders than he did. I mean, Drex wasn't an elite defender. Nobody on that Laker team was an elite defender. Dan Marley was a second team all-league defender, but he wasn't elite. Gary Payton was elite. Nate McMillan was elite, but I mean, Stockton was elite, but he was on the other side of his prime. I don't know if Stockton was elite. Nah, he wasn't elite at that point. Of course, Joakim Noah was elite. He was the defensive player of the year. Do you think that Jerry West would be praised the same the way LeBron is for making 9 finals, or would he have been buried for making 9 finals? I don't understand your question, Breezy. Do I think he would have been praised the same way LeBron is for making 9 finals? If he would have won more, absolutely. If he would have won more, Jerry West would be a lot bigger deal than what he is today. Right. So from 91 to 93, nobody on that Laker team was an elite defender. Nobody on that Trailblazers team was an elite defender. And Dan Marley was the closest thing, but I don't think Dan Marley was an elite defender. I mean, he was an all-league defender. That's it. So your logic is in them finals from 91 to 93, zero elite defenders. Not all league defenders, 0 elite defenders. From 91 to 93, 0. And then from 96 to 98, 1 guy. That's it. James, on the other hand, in the 9 NBA finals that he's been to, I'm sorry, in the 10 NBA finals that he's been to, he's seen Bruce Bowen, Tim Duncan, Tyson Chandler, Serge Ibaka, Draymond Green. So 5, is that fair? I left out not Garnett. Take Garnett. We talking about in the NBA Finals. We ain't talking about James in the playoffs. We talking about in the NBA Finals. He had to see Leonard. Leonard wasn't an elite defender at that in the 2013 season. Leonard wasn't he wasn't an elite defender at that point. So I'm thinking 5 guys. Draymond was an elite defender during those times when the Warriors and the Cavs was in the finals. So yes, he is. Yes, he was. So let's dead that logic. Joe, why is Bam not an elite defender? I think he finished 3rd this year in Defensive Player of the Year. Because he held them to under 30. He held them to under 40%. JJ, that's why. What did I say? I thought I said 3rd or something like that. Mm-hmm. John Wall is a freak athlete. One of the fastest guys that I've ever seen from point A to point B, and that includes Russell Westbrook and Jason Kidd. I think he still has something left in the tank. I think his athleticism hasn't left him yet. I think that there's something still there. Bogut, man, I didn't know Bogut was an elite defender. That's interesting. I'm not buying Kevin Durant. I think Kevin Durant was a product of that system. I'm not buying Kevin Durant. Even if the numbers say that, and I can't fight the numbers. But I'm not putting Kevin Durant in elite defense, and I'm not putting him in any year. We're talking about a dude who never made the all-league defensive team. Never. Not one time. Not once. Bogut was a big-time rim protector. I will say that. And he was big time for what they were doing defensively. How good was Kevin Garnett? So are we talking about Kevin Garnett in his prime? That Miami Heat team that beat that Celtics team? Take Theis off that team and put Kevin Garnett on that team. He would have ate Bam lunch. And I love Bam Adebayo. KG would have ate his lunch. I'm going to say it one more time for the people in the cheap seats. Take Theis off that team and put prime Kevin Garnett on that unit. He would have ate Bam lunch. That's how good Kevin Garnett was. Let me ask you this, though, Michael. Is being in the Defensive Player of the Year, because when I think about Defensive Player of the Year, like, for example, I think about James, and I think about, like, when I hear people tell me that Jordan is a better defender, hands down, and I can't get with that logic. And the reason why I can't get with that logic is because I make the argument that there is a stretch, and it's not a fluke, there is a stretch where for this amount of time, I was just as good as you. What I mean when I say that, Jordan did it longer, and I can't fight that, and I will not fight that. Jordan did do it longer. But there was a stretch. There was a 6-year stretch where I make the argument that James was just as good as Jordan as a defender. There was a 6-year stretch from the 07-08 season to the 12-13 season. That's 6 years. I'm just as good as you. 4 times in 5 years, he finished in the top 5 in Defensive Player of the Year, including finishing second twice in that span. He was first team All-League as a defender 5 times in a row. Now, you did it longer than I did, no question about that, and I can't argue that, and I will not argue that. But there was a stretch, a good stretch, where I was just as good as you. No, I wasn't talking about you, Michael. I was talking about somebody completely different. I'm understanding your logic. The guys that the elite defenders that James went against in the NBA Finals isn't close to the elite defenders that Jordan went against in the NBA Finals. That's not close. I can get with I understand your logic on that. I do. I get it. It's not close. No. I understand that. My rebuttal to that, and this is what I said in the beginning, was the teams that Jordan went up against, these groups were together for a long time. So defensively, not one guy individually, but defensively, these teams were good. They didn't have one elite guy, but they did have a really good defensive team. But what I can't take away from is I can't take away from how good Jordan was. Now, does that mean that not having one elite defender every year helped Jordan? I'm sure it did. But I could also make the argument that going up against an elite defensive team may trump that. I get it. Never. Not one time. Sounds to me like what you bringing to the table is not that you was going up against whack crews. Look at what I had to deal with on the defensive end. The guys that were coming at me defensively, who I had to go up against. I can get with that logic. All right. DeMarcus Cousins was on his way to being an all-time great before he started to break down. If he would have won the NBA championship in 2018, it's not even if he would have won the NBA championship in 2018. No. KD threw a monkey wrench in the whole landscape. He just did. I think Giannis is a better defender than Ben Simmons. I do. And I give him the edge because he's a better rim protector than Ben Simmons. I think that on the perimeter, I think that they're just as good. I think Giannis is a better rebounder. I think he's just as good an on-ball defender. I think his ability to be versatile and be able to guard in the post and the rim protect is where the separator is. I thought Derek Coleman was going to be Karl Malone. I thought he was going to be that good. I'm listening, John. State your reasons. I'm very interested to hear this. James Harden is going to be the reason because I know who he is. Right. I understand that, Michael. And I didn't say that you said he played against trash. No. I didn't say that. No, I didn't say you said he played against trash. What the logic sounds like to me is look at the dudes that I had to go. I'm not saying that you went up against whack crews. I'm not saying that you went up against whack defenders, but look at the defenders that I had to deal with during my tenure. It is incredible. I don't hate Harden. Why you love Harden so much, John? How about that? Why do you love because you think I hate him Why do you love Harden so much? Is he a troll? Okay. I'll make sure that I remember that. I do not, Keyshawn. I do not highly dislike him. That is not true. That is not true. I think James Harden is a top 5 shooting guard of all time. That is not true. I do not dislike him. I just think other people are better. And I know who he is when the playoffs come. He's shown me that. Time and time again. He's shown me that. So I'm trying to understand, John. So you say if I hate him, what gives you the idea that not only what gives you the idea that I hate him, why do you love James Harden so much? I love Robbie Williams. Them signing him back was big time. Oh, man, that was so huge. Well, Philly can't. Well, I think that they're going to trade him. I don't think they're serious about trading him, but I think that they're going to wait this thing out. I do. That's fair. You love Harden because of that. All right. Because he brought Houston back to life. Now, what gives you the idea? What's up, David? What gives you the idea that I hate James Harden? Because when I think about hating guys, just so you know, I hate Danny Ainge. I can't stand the sight of that dude. I can't stand the sight of Bill Laimbeer. So you think I feel that way about James Harden? Please explain yourself. He was first in the MVP race. All right, that's fair. Hell yeah, I got a high expectation for Jalen Green. He's number 2 pick in the draft. What's up, Matt? How you doing? I don't dislike him. I just know who he is, and I know what he's done. I've seen what he's done. I know who this guy is once the playoffs start and once we get deep into the playoffs. He's shown me that, who he is. That's not to say that his game isn't huge. James Harden is a big-time offensive player. Big time. But I'm not a huge Harden fan. I'm not. The Bulls going deep into the playoffs. How about they got to make the playoffs first? Let's start with that. You're talking about them making a deep run in the playoffs. They got to make the playoffs first. I did get the point, though. Yes, I did. I got it. As long as they may very well, if they would have stayed together, they could have won. They could have had a legit shot at winning it. No one else besides LeBron would be able to take them anywhere. John, see, you're not. I'm not buying that from you, John. You know why? Because last I checked, in the 2014-2015 season, Dwight Howard was elite. Yes, he was. Dwight Howard wasn't a good player. He was elite. Not to mention, for you guys to lose to that Warriors team with KD out in Houston, and for Curry to outplay James Harden in that second half to go 0, what he had 2 points in the first half and to go 33 in the second half. This is in the playoffs. This is the guy that I'm talking about. This is the guy who reveals himself when we get deeper into the playoffs. Ain't nobody asking you to do it by yourself. Nah, because you can't. But when we get into the playoffs and we get deeper into the playoffs, as a big-time player, you have to produce. You can't go to pieces. And he's shown that he'll do that. He's shown that more than once. I actually think that James Harden, I think he's a better. I'm having a tough time with that Harden Curry thing because I think all around he shows me that he could be a better all around player than Steph Curry. But when it's time to produce in the most important stretches, he can't do it, particularly against Curry. I do think the 91-92 Jordan is the best version. No question about it. That's not your opinion, John. That's a fact. One more time for the people in the back. When you're in the playoffs, your best players have to be your best player. They have to be, which means that James Harden can't go 0 for 11 in the fourth quarter with the long ball. Means that James Harden can't go to pieces in game 5 when the Warriors come to town with no KD. They can't walk out of your building with a win. That can't happen. It can't. In 17, he can't go to pieces in game 6 against the San Antonio Spurs. That can't happen. It just can't. I do think that James Harden would have been an elite player at some point because what would have happened was they would have ended up moving him to the 2. It just got expensive. He couldn't stay there. They couldn't afford all of those guys. When you're in a smaller market, things get expensive and they get expensive fast. That's why this window that Milwaukee has, it's not going to be open long because things get expensive and they get expensive fast and you can't sustain that when you're in a small market. So he did average 30 and 6. I don't know if there was much else he could have done, but what I do know is in the elimination game, he could have showed up. So that 30 and 6 that you're talking to me about, I can appreciate that, but you cannot go to pieces in those crucial moments. 0 for 11 in the fourth quarter of a closeout game? 0 for 11. Let me ask you a question, John. If LeBron James goes 0 for 11 in the fourth quarter of game 7 and they lose, what's the logic? What's the narrative on him? That's what I'd like to know. Who's guarding Kyrie on the Lakers? Russell's going to have to deal with him. He ain't clutch. He's soft. What else? He can't close. Meanwhile, James Harden goes 0 for 11 in the fourth quarter of a closeout game. And the logic is that's just him. How could a defender be elite? Well, once again, KT, I've said this more than once, more than twice. I've said this more than once, more than twice. Your stats are a result of what your skill set has produced. I've said that more than once, more than twice. So if you're a perennial all-league defender, if you're constantly in the top 10, or if your defensive rating when your team is on the floor is high, these are the things that constitute you being an all-league defender. It's not just, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to watch you and, yo, this dude is an all-league defender. No. What proof do you have? What proof do you have that this dude is that dude? What proof? Excuse me for a second, guys. Yo, what proof do you have that this dude is that dude? So when I got a guy like Drew Holiday, I'm watching Drew Holiday, and it's obvious that he is one of the best perimeter defenders in the game. And that's not something that he's just doing in the NBA Finals. That's something that he's been doing for years, and the numbers prove it. Keyshawn, let me ask you this question, because I want to get on. I want to get on this whole notion of, can we get Kyrie Irving to stay healthy? How about that? Because you keep talking to me about Kyrie Irving this, or can he even last till the playoffs start? Or can he get through the playoffs? Because he ain't been the same since he left James. Let's be clear about that. Let's make sure that we remember that. Kyrie Irving, since he left James, hasn't been the same. There is nothing to suggest that Kyrie has been that dude. No, I don't hate the Nets. I just don't like the fact that y'all dudes are so high on these guys. What have they proven? James Harden broke down before the playoffs started. He's done that before. This is who this guy is. Kyrie Irving. He didn't get hurt when he played with James. All of a sudden, not all of a sudden, now we got a dude who is erratic. He's having a difficult time staying healthy. I know you remember in 2017, was it 2017? 2018, I'm sorry. In the Eastern Conference Championship in Game 7, why didn't Kyrie Irving play in that game? He had nasal surgery. What the hell is that about? Explain that to me. But you want to talk to me about Kyrie Irving being nice with the pill, and he's one of the most skilled guys. How about you produce in the postseason? How about that? You want to talk to me about this dude, Russell Westbrook can't do nothing with him. How about you hold up first and produce in the postseason, and then talk to me about Kyrie Irving? Giannis did not injure him. No, he did not. That's not what happened. That is not what happened. So let me ask you this, Keyshawn. You think Kyrie Irving the best player in the game? You think he the best perimeter player in the game? Or where do you rank Kyrie Irving? Because it sounds to me like you think he's super nice. Where do you have Kyrie Irving? I want to talk to. I'm gonna get with y'all in a minute. I want to talk to Keyshawn, because Keyshawn want to talk to me about Kyrie Irving. Let's discuss Kyrie Irving, who went 50, 40, 90. All right, let's talk about Kyrie Irving. Where do you have Kyrie Irving ranked? I'm interested to hear this. Is Kyrie Irving nicer than Dame? If you take Kyrie Irving and put him on, that Portland team, are they going to the playoffs? Take Kyrie Irving off that Brooklyn team and put him in Washington with Bradley Beal. Are they going to the playoffs? One more time, Jason, for the people in the cheap seats, Jason. Now, John, this is what I want you to do, John. I want you to take off your Brooklyn hat, right? I want you to take off your fan hat, and I want you to think about your answer. Is Kyrie Irving, who that Boston team, he gets off the team in 18, in 19, they back in the was it 19 or 20? They back in the Eastern Conference Championship. Take Irv off the crew. They back in the Eastern Conference Championship. Where is Irv is a great all of them games. Kyrie be missing. Okay. Curry, Lillard, Luka, Kyrie, Trey, top 5 point guards. Kyrie did not save LeBron's legacy. Oh my God, yo, come on, man. What do you see? And this is what I'm talking about. So you're saying the Celtics team was better? Yes, John, I am saying that. They was in the Eastern Conference Championship without him. They got bounced in 5 games in the first round against Milwaukee with him. They come back the next season with the same crew and in the Eastern Conference Championship. Nice job, Nate. I'm feeling that. Larry Bird getting hurt didn't have nothing to do with it because Larry Bird still was awesome. Just so we clear. I just want to make sure we clear. He saved him. No, he didn't save him. If you remember that game, so if I'm not mistaken, what's up, Joel? If I'm not mistaken, during that game, because I think you're talking about Game 7 of the 2016 NBA Finals that Kyrie saved him. You do know that the game was tied when Irv knocked, right? Game was tied. It's a possession game. James goes to the stripe and he ices the game. Iced it. So we clear. He iced the game. Game's over. That's first of all. I'm not doing this why LeBron is better than Jordan thing. I'm so over this whole LeBron is better than Jordan thing. You dudes who follow me, I've explained this to you 1,000 times already. Do I have to explain it 1,001 times? I think Bird was as good as he was going to be. I do think that. I don't think injuries. I mean, Bird was we talking about a dude who was the league MVP 3 straight years. He was a all-league defender, not an all-league defender. He was first team All-NBA 9 times in 10 years. And why didn't he play in 2018? What was the problem in 2018? Why didn't he play? He was gone. It doesn't make a difference why, Coptic, because you're a Jordan guy. And if I explain it 1,001 times, it won't make a difference because you already got your mind made up about Jordan. And I'm not going to fight that. That's your guy. Absolutely. Jordan is your guy, and Jordan was phenomenal. Jordan wasn't good. He was phenomenal. So LeBron hasn't won anything without an all-star. John, you do know in the 2016 NBA championship, LeBron James was the only one who made the all-star team that year when they beat the Warriors. Not only was he the only one who made the all-star team that year, he was the only one who made the all-NBA team too. He was the only one. So just make sure you remember that. I just want to put that on your mind. It's not working, Jillian. It's not. No, it's not. Not at all. And Keyshawn, what I'm not going to fight is I'm not going to fight how nice Kyrie Irving is, especially with the peel. But if you can't hold up, fam, I can't count on you. We breaking down. Hang on for a second. Absolutely, we can. That's what we're here for, John. Don't let that bother you. No, that's what we're here for. That's right, John. If I can't count on you to be here, I can't count on you. I can't. The only thing that, in my opinion, that Jordan did better than James was score. He ain't do nothing else better than James. Nothing, in my opinion. He ain't do nothing else better than James. He was a better defensive player than James. Like I said before, I can make the argument. Jordan did it for longer. No question about it. But I can make the argument that for a long stretch, I was just as good as you. Just as good as you. Jordan averaged 8 assists once in his career. James averaged 10 assists, 9 assists, and 8 assists more than one time in his career. I am going to listen to Donda. I am. My brother keeps telling me the same thing. I need to listen to this Kanye West album because it's fire. Well, we already know that Irv is not the guy that you building your unit around, that he's going to be your guy. He's already proven that. He's shown you that. You saw what happened in Boston, and then you saw what happened this last season when he went AWOL because he needed some time away. My leader can't do that, yo. My leader can't do that. The Heat looking real good. Yes, they are. I think the Heat are a top 5 team in the Eastern Conference this year. That's the most important thing with me, Troy. My leader has to be stable. And if he is unstable, then my unit is unstable. And if my unit is unstable, then we ain't going nowhere. We not. Nah, Jillian, what has to happen, this is what is important to understand about ESPN and about these debate shows. So, for example, Fox came to Skip Bayless and came up with an idea like First Take. Skip took the money and went to Fox. And in the process of him doing that, he suggested Shannon Sharpe be his guy. Now, this is your show. And with it being your show, I'm going to debate you. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to step on you. And I'm not going to give ridiculous takes. And what I'm also not going to do is I'm not going to not big you up. I'm not going to make sure that everybody knows. I'm going to make sure that everybody knows the reason I'm here is because of this dude right here. Everybody knows that ESPN First Take, that's Stephen A. Smith's baby right there. And Max was brought along. Max is a boxing guy. Max is not a basketball guy. He's not a football guy. Max is a boxing guy. And when he comes in and he's talking to Stephen A. When Stephen A. brings whatever Stephen A. brings to the table in terms of a debate, and Max is shooting it down, the logic that he's shooting it down with, it doesn't work. So it'd be like you and I having a debate. This is your show. You and I having a debate, and I'm shooting down your logic with stuff that everybody's like, oh, what is this dude even doing? It just looks bad. So when you're talking about a show like ESPN First Take or Undisputed or First Things First, you have to mesh with these people. It's not like Fox News or CNN where these people don't know each other and they get into a debate and now it's a screaming match between everybody and it gets ugly. So well, Luke, they got to make the playoffs first. They have to. They got to make the playoffs first. My top 5 teams in the Eastern Conference as of right now are Milwaukee, Philadelphia, Brooklyn, Philadelphia, Boston, Knicks. Actually, take the Knicks out of there and put Miami in there. Miami in the top 5. I think the Knicks are 6. I think Chicago is in the play-in game, is in the play-in tournament. Mm-hmm. I think Atlanta. Well, because they haven't. Well, the reason why I'm not sold on the Bulls is because they got to show that they can guard. That's what has to happen with the Knicks. They got to show that they can guard. I already know that. I already know that they can get buckets. No, I can dig that, Jillian. I can absolutely dig it. But I already know. I mean, DeMar DeRozan is 22 a game. Pencil him in for it. Zach LaVine is what, 25? He's 25, 26 a game. Bet it. Lonzo Ball is going to give me 15, 16. No question about that. And I got the Euro on the box. He's going to give me 17, 18 down there. And he's going to rebound. Can they stop? Can they slow teams down? I think getting rid of Markin was huge for them. I think that was good. I don't like him in Cleveland, though, but I think that was good for them. So you ain't got the Celtics making the playoffs. Word? Wow. Brooklyn, Milwaukee, Atlanta, Miami, Philly, Chicago, the Knicks. Oh, and so you got the Celtics at the AC. You got them in the play-in tournament. That's super wild right there. I like Patty Mills on the Nets. I do. I do like Patty Mills on the Nets. He gives them another long ball shooter. So when Joe Harris ain't getting it done, we can absolutely get him involved. Mm-hmm. What about Kobe though? Is Kobe White going to be able to hold up? That's my question to you. Because he has to take a step forward this year too. I know he just had shoulder surgery, but he's got to take a step forward also. Well, he was the number one option last year, Bo. He was the number one option last season. And it ain't news that we go if take it like Mike. Mr. Rodriguez, be good, yo. Good talking to you. That Laker team, be clear. Before COVID shut the season down, AD was 26-9. So, absolutely. Catch you next time. OG, I need you to talk about Russ the same way you was talking about Harden. 4 teams in 5. Whoa. Let's be clear about one thing. The same way I feel about Kyrie Irving is the same way I feel about Russ. The same way I feel about Kyrie Irving is the same way I feel about Russ. We not winning it with this dude as our guy. We not. Absolutely not. And I found that out after the 2018 season when I watched them dudes get bounced in the first round when he was in Oklahoma City, when he had Carmelo and Paul George on his team. And in games 4 and 5, he took 43 shots. I was out on Russ. I was out. No question about it. Now, do I still think Russ is viable? Yes, just not as our guy. He has proven not just to be erratic. He has proven that he will give you a game, especially in the playoffs. If you're going up against whatever team he's on, Russ is going to give you a game. And I think him playing with the Lakers is going to be really good for him. Really good for him. I just want to see what I'd much rather see what KP is doing. I mean, we got a dude that's 20-8 last year. He still don't know what his role is. Some basketball reaction videos. What do you mean? Yeah, I'm still in TikTok jail right now, so be easy, John. Nice to see you, my man. I don't think he want to be a star Pablo more than he wants to know exactly what his role is on this unit. It looks like there's no depth. We haven't defined what his role is. What exactly am I doing here? I don't know, Jillian, to be honest with you. I have no idea when I get out of TikTok jail. I have no idea. I would like to know. All the notification said was you had a comment that had to be taken down. And I think, like I said, I think somebody's reporting my videos. Take it light, Hood. Good to see you, brother. Mm-hmm. Pager with a handle. I don't know, Andre. He got work to do, man. He does. If he can sustain this level that he's at right now and maybe win another championship or two, we got to talk about him like that. Clearly, I don't even know that I didn't know I was being toxic. Clearly, I am. I didn't even know I was being toxic, but I talk basketball. How am I being toxic talking basketball? I don't get it. Probably. Kevin Garnett over Dirk. Yeah, I do, Angel. I mean, he was 20-8 last year. We still got to get to the bottom of what exactly. We still got to get to the bottom of exactly what his role is on that group, and I think Jason Kidd's going to define that. Who's the most entertaining player you've ever watched? I was always in front of the TV when Jordan was on. Same thing with James. I was in front of the TV when I looked forward to Dominique playing, Shaq. Running good, Jay. I do watch football. I'm a 49er fan. That's dumb, too. It's dumb that's going on. That group ain't bad, Keyshawn. That's not a bad group. The question is can Russ stay healthy? Because that's been his Achilles heel. Didn't he miss something like 30 games last year? That set them back. I don't know if I see Rondo as Westbrook insurance more than I see him as somebody who is level-headed. That'll keep that group at a sustained level, him and James. Because James can't be the only adult on that team. You know, when things going the other way, you know, we got to have a heady guy who's just keeping things steady. Garoppolo's gone. Where you going to, Jason? What are you talking about? He gone. Going where? I'll tell you what, Jillian. When you're in a quarterback competition, the last thing, and when you're in any kind of competition, the last thing I can do or should do is not be. I have to be there every day. Because what I'm doing when I'm not there every day is I'm giving this person that I'm in competition with the upper hand because I'm getting them more looks. And when Cam Newton misses a week, I'm in a quarterback competition. I can't afford to miss a week. I can't afford to miss a day. This dude missed 5 days. No way can I afford to do that. And they'll say, well, it wasn't because of COVID and he didn't take the shot. They'll say that, but in actuality, absolutely that was it. Because can you imagine the Patriots being 5-2 or 6-1 and Cam Newton comes down with COVID? Now he got to sit for a week or 2 weeks. And now we got to go with the Rook, who may or may not be ready. We don't know. Do we want to take that chance? Deep voice, you making it sound like that's not a big deal. But you making it, he's in a quarterback competition, though. That's the problem. He only missed because of this. Yo, I only missed school because I had the chicken pox. I only been out for 10 days. But I'm in a competition with somebody. I can't afford to miss any time. Because if I'm in a competition, if I'm in a competition, the last thing that I can do, right? The last thing that I can do is miss time. And if I'm in a competition, there's already the idea that I might not be better than this guy, that they're considering the other guy. So I can't give this guy any advantage. And If I'm doing that, or if I'm missing time, I'm giving him an advantage on any level. Nate, don't start the Cowboys nonsense. Oh my God. Please don't start it. The Cowboys are going to shock the world. I keep listening. I'm telling y'all. I'm telling you guys. Every time I listen, don't start the Cowboys. Please don't. Jillian, keep him away from your Giants. This kid that you got in Danny Dimes, develop him. You do not need Cam Newton up there. No, you don't. Keep Cam Newton away from your Giants. Houston is a viable place for him because they're not moving forward with Deshaun Watson. What am I wrong about? What am I wrong about with Cam? No, man. No, man. I haven't listened to the Donda album. I am going to listen to it though. Yeah, keep Cam away from your Giants. Do that. Because I like Danny Dimes. I do. Who is the best player in the world? The top three players in the world right now are KD, Giannis, and James, in my opinion. I'm not a Cowboy hater. You got your fan base sucks. That's my problem with the Cowboys. Your fan base is the worst. You're worse than everybody. The Raiders, every fan base in pro football, pro basketball, the Cowboy fan base, you guys suck. I swear. You guys are trash. I hate the Cowboy fan base. I hate them. These guys are terrible. I think my 49ers win. I think we can win 11 games this year. I do think that. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's Kawhi because he ain't playing this season. But we're garbage juice. You're garbage juice, King. How about that? You know what? I'm sorry I said that. That was out of line. I apologize. You're not garbage juice. No, you're not. And my 49ers are not garbage juice neither. We're better than that. We're cranberry juice right now. No vodka. Come talk to me in November when we rolling. Then we'll add a little bit of vodka. Nate, you want to shock? You want your Cowboys to shock the world? How about this? How about make it to the NFC Championship game? That's how you shock the world. Beating Tampa in week 1 is not shocking the world. You're not shocking the world. You guys haven't been out of the divisional round since my senior year of college. You want to shock the world? Go deep into the playoffs. Nah, Cap is over. Cap finished. Finished. Excuse me. Every year, man, with the Cowboys, we winning it next year. 12-4, 13-3, bounced in a divisional round. We winning it next year, though. Give me a break with these dudes. Oh my God. Ryan Tannehill really surprised me, man, because I remember him down here and I just wasn't impressed with him at all. He goes up to Tennessee and he looking like a Pro Bowl quarterback, not just a Pro Bowl quarterback, maybe even an all-pro quarterback. Mm-hmm. I think Zion is the future face of the. If he get that mid range in his game, which I think he will, I think he's the future face of the NBA. In my opinion. And to answer your question, Jillian, the Giants are my surprise team in the NFC. Well, I'll tell you who's not the best team in the NFC East. Just so you know, the last repeat champion in the NFC East was 20 years ago, which suggests to me that the Washington football team is not winning the NFC East this year. I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of the season the Giants was in the middle of that. The Giants was in the middle of that race. You got the Ravens going to the bowl game. Ooh. Yo, who is this dude King, man? And why are you calling me by my first name? Do you know me or something? Am I missing something here? Do you know me? What's really good here? Who is this dude? Do you know me? Do I know you? What's really going on here? Anyway, and I'm not getting rid of this gray. That's why it's a distinguished look. That's why they call me OG. It's part of the look, my man. Switch the Pro Bowl to what? My hair started turning white when I was like 32, scared the living you know what out of me. And I started coloring it. And I saw, you know, that dude at the party with the ponytail that's like 55. He ain't really that old. He just too old to be acting the way he do. And I was like, I am not going to be that guy. No way. So if my hair start turning white, let it be what it's going to be. I'm not going to be that dude that's, you know, coloring my hair and still trying to hang around 19-year-olds. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. Oh my God. No way. Mm-hmm. I think the worst team in the NFC East is going to be Philly. God, and I don't like to shut the door on teams before the season start, but I think that they trash. I do think that they trash. I think they straight trash. I do. I'm sorry, my Beats. I think that they're gonna be because, like we talked about before, which team in the NFL does everybody think is going to be good? That you think is going to be whack, and which team does everybody think is going to be whack is going to be good? I think that the Eagles are going to be straight trash. I think they're going to be straight whack. When did I roast you? And what did I roast you for? Worst team in the NBA this season coming up? I think Washington is going to be straight I think they're going to be garbage. I think they're going to be garbage. Well, let's go down the line of the teams in the Eastern Conference. So you got the Atlantic Division. That's the Knicks, Nets, Philly, Boston, and Toronto. That's in the Atlantic Division. I don't think Toronto's going to be very good. Then you got the Central Division. That's Cleveland, Indy, Chicago. Cleveland, Indy, Chicago, Milwaukee. Who am I leaving out? Cleveland, Indy, Chicago, Milwaukee. Who am I leaving out in that division? And Detroit. I think Detroit's going to be garbage. And I like that. I like their young core. I do. I like what Cade is doing. I like what Grant is doing, but I think they're going to be trash. So that's in the Central Division. And then so now you got the Southeast Division. That's Orlando, Miami, Atlanta, Charlotte, and Washington. I think Washington's going to be garbage. So those are the 3 worst teams in the Eastern Conference. Toronto, Detroit, and Washington. I think Orlando's going to be right next to Washington. Orlando might be worse than Washington. And then you got the Western Conference. So you got the Pacific Division. You got all 4 California teams: Kings, Warriors, Lakers, Clippers. You got Phoenix and Phoenix. I think the Kings are the worst team in that division. Yeah, I think the Kings are the worst team in that division. Then you got the Northwest Division. That's Oklahoma City, Portland, Minnesota. Oklahoma City, Portland, Minnesota. Utah. I'm leaving somebody out. Oklahoma City, Portland, Minnesota, Utah. I'm leaving one team out in that division. Nate, Utah is not trash. Denver, that's the other team in that division. I think Oklahoma City, I think they at the bottom of that division again. I think Minnesota is better. And then you got the Southwest Division. That's New Orleans, Houston, San Antonio, Dallas. Memphis. I think San Antonio is going to be super whack this year. I don't think they're going to be whack. I think they're going to be super whack. I think Houston's going to be better. I do. Well, Nate, you can say that about a lot of teams. But you think that if you took Donovan Mitchell off of Utah, they was the number 1 seed. If you take him off them, they go straight to the bottom of the Western Conference. They that whack? Word? I don't know if I'm going to go that far. Interesting. So you can make an argument that Jim Kelly was just as good from 89 to 94. There was a stretch. See, I'm big on that, Soprano. I'm not saying that you was better than or I was better than you, especially if you did it longer. But you could make the argument that there was a stretch. And it wasn't a 2-year, it wasn't a 3-year, it was a 5-6-year stretch where I was just as good as you. I was just as good as you. So, damn. Well, that's the way that works, man. You the quarterback, so you get the most credit. But and it's a weird dynamic, and it's unfair how they rate these guys, because if you're talking about a guy in Tom Brady who've been to 9 Super Bowls, 10 Super Bowls, and won 7. And 2 of those Super Bowls, they beat Seattle. That was fluky dookie because Pete Carroll didn't run the football. They was on the 4. Get a ball of beast mode. Game's over. Russell Wilson throws an interception on the 3-yard line, on the 4-yard line. So that was fluky dookie. He loses to the same guy. He ain't lose to him once. He lost to him twice. Does that mean Eli's better than Tom Brady? No, but I mean, do you see how unfair that logic is? But all right, guys, it's about that time for me to wrap it up. Definitely time for me to wrap it up. But what's today? Tuesday. I'm gonna try to get with you guys again before the week is out. If not Thursday, then definitely Friday. And we'll get after it again. Take it light, but take it.